Hello mathematicians. In this video we will see about a Jordan canonical form. So many people have requested me to make a video on Jordan canonical form and asked me to do the problem related problems in the CSIR exam. So this is part 1 video. In this video we see the relation between Jordan blocks and the algebraic multiplicity and the geometric multiplicity of eigenvalues. At the end, using these ideas, we solve some CSR related problems. And in the next part of video, we'll find the relation between minimal polynomials, degree of the factors in the minimal polynomial, and the Jordan canonical form. Okay, so that in will be in the part 2 of this video. Now, there are many questions in CSIR exam that is asked related to both diagonalizable matrices and the Jordan canonical form. Okay, if you understand Jordan canonical form clearly, then you can answer all the questions regarding diagonalizable matrices also. Okay, therefore you try to watch this video clearly and try to understand everything. And in the middle, I have done many problems so that we'll understand the concepts clearly. Let's begin. Okay. So we know that if a matrix is diagonalizable, then there exists an invertible matrix P such that PA P inverse is equal to diagonal matrix with diagonal entries are the eigenvalues of A. Okay. So here I am talking about a real matrix and a diagonalizability over R. Therefore, this invertible matrix also is a matrix over R. Okay, so why do we want to diagonalize a matrix? Okay, so in applied mathematics or physics, in any science branch, when they use mathematics, they might need to calculate the higher powers of mathematics, higher powers of matrices, a power 100, a power 2000, and so on. So if a matrix is diagonalizable, then it is easy to calculate the powers. Okay, why? For example, if PA P inverse is equal to a diagonal matrix, then A can be written as P inverse dP. Okay. Now A square is equal to B inverse dP into P inverse dP. This P inverse cancel out and we get P inverse D square P. Okay. So similarly, you can prove why if whatever power of A power K is equal to P inverse D power K P. Okay. So calculating the higher powers of K is reduced to calculating the powers of diagonal matrices. Calculating the powers of diagonal matrices is very easy. Okay, and then you have to multiply these matrices, but yeah, that is very easy to do. So the advantage of diagonal matrix is there are lot of zero entries. Everything outside the diagonal entries are zero entries, right? So you can easily find multiply them. But not all the matrices are diagonalizable. For example, if you look at take any non-zero nilpotent matrix, then it is not diagonalizable. Okay, so I made 3 videos on diagonalizable matrices, part 1, part 2, part 3. There I state all the important results regarding diagonalizable matrices, but I didn't prove any of those results. I told them all those results we will see when we uh, do Jordan canonical form. So when we in this video we'll prove all those results. Okay, but the proofs are very simple. I'm not going to write the proof. I will just show that why it is true. You can also see why it is true. Okay, only some they are kind of their observation only. We will see why it is true. Okay, okay. What is Jordan canonical form? So as I said, we want given a matrix A, we want to find the invertible matrix P such that PA P inverse equal to some matrix where there are lot of zero entries. Okay. So if you can get, if it is a matrix is diagonalizable, then it is fine. If it is not diagonalizable, then we instead of diagonal matrices, we want some other matrix which has lots of zero entries. Okay, if there are lot of zero entries, still the calculating the powers of the matrix will be easy. Okay, so that's where Jordan canonical form comes. So Jordan canonical form is a kind of diagonal matrix only. Okay, but it is not a diagonal. The diagonal entries are not numbers, but they are block matrices. Okay, not some random matrices. These block matrices also, these blocks coming in the diagonal also, they have some special form, special simple form. Okay, so outside here these entries are all zero, so there are lot of zero entries. Inside this blocks also you will see that there will be lot of zero entries. Okay, therefore it will be very easy to calculate the powers of Jordan canonical form. Okay, so if a matrix has, suppose here we are talking about matrices overall. In general, you take matrices over some field F. If the matrix has all its eigenvalues in that field F, then you can reduce that matrix into Jordan canonical form. Okay, so when you can find a Jordan canonical form of a matrix over a field F, that matrix should have all the eigenvalues in the field F. Okay, for example, for all the nilpotent matrices you can find the Jordan canonical form, because nilpotent matrices has uh, uh, all the eigenvalues are equal to 0. 0 is an all element of all the field. Okay, okay, so like now let me say what are these blocks now. Okay, so this is called a Jordan matrix, and these blocks are going to be what we going to call Jordan blocks. Okay, Jordan matrix, Jordan blocks. Okay, let's see an example of a Jordan matrix. See, this is a Jordan matrix and this is a Jordan block. 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 Okay, if you look at each of this block, each of the block is a upper triangular matrix. So inside the block also there are lots of zero entries. Okay, so this even though this matrix is not a diagonal matrix, the entries you can see only the diagonal next to the main diagonal. There are some entries, non-zero entries are coming, and the non-zero entries will be always one. You won't have any other entries here. Okay, okay, so like this is really not a diagonal matrix, but it is not a very bad matrix also. Okay, let's continue. So uh, so this is an example of a Jordan block. Okay, it is a size 4 Jordan block, corresponds to the eigenvalue lambda. Okay, why it is a size 4? There are, if it is a size 4 Jordan block, then there will be 3 ones. Okay, in general, if there are, if it is a size k Jordan block, there will be k minus 1 many ones here. Okay, okay, so the point is this is a 4 by 4 matrix, but that is not the reason why we are calling it as a 4 by 4 Jordan block corresponds to the eigenvalue lambda. No, that is not the reason. Even if suppose there is no 1 here, suppose this is 0, then we want to call this as a Jordan block. Okay, so if it is a Jordan block means all these entries to be 1 here, all these entries to be some fixed eigenvalue lambda. Okay, such matrices are called Jordan block. Okay, so it is a 4 by 4 matrix, so we call it like a 4 by 4 matrix in which all these entries are 1, so we call it a size 4 Jordan block, corresponds to the eigenvalue lambda. Okay, okay, now so it is a quick remark. We will see that for 2 by 2 and 3 by 3 matrices, knowing the eigenvalues and eigenvectors alone enough to determine the Jordan canonical form. Okay, so what is the meaning? You know eigenvalues and eigenvectors, then you can say what is the Jordan canonical form if it is a 2 by 2 or 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, so if it is a 4 by 4 and 5 by 5 matrix, then knowing the eigenvalues and eigenvector is not sufficient. You need more information. That is what it's saying. Okay, but for larger matrices, this is no longer true. Means that you need more information. So what do you need more? We need the concept of generalized eigenvectors that we will see in the part 2 of this video only. Today we will not see what is generalized eigenvectors. Today we will see the connection between size of the blocks in the Jordan canonical form and algebraic multiplicity and geometric multiplicity. Then using this results connection alone, we will see some problems. So depends on the video length. I try to solve as many as problem as possible. Okay. Okay. Uh, we will see that much of the structure of Jordan canonical form can be understood from the algebraic multiplicity and geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalues of a matrix. Okay, so if you know the algebraic multiplicity and the geometric multiplicity of all the eigenvalues of A, then you can many thing about Jordan canonical form. Okay, you know many things, but that doesn't mean that you know everything. Okay, so even algebraic multiplicity and geometric multiplicity, knowing algebraic multiplicity and geometric multiplicity is not going to say everything about the Jordan canonical form. That's what we're going to see here. So okay, so what is algebraic multiplicity? So you take a n by n complex matrix. So after this we work over complex matrices, because what I told you to talk about Jordan canonical form, we want all the roots to lie in the underlying field. If you work over complex matrices, then all the its eigenvalue are complex numbers. So we are in the safer situation. So that is why we work over complex matrices. Suppose the characteristic polynomial of A. So the notation for characteristic polynomial is PA of X. Okay. Suppose the characteristic polynomial of A is x minus lambda 1 power m1, x minus lambda power m2 into x minus lambda k power mk. Suppose, so this means that this lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda k are distinct eigenvalues, and each eigenvalue occurs m1, m2 and mk times respectively. Okay. So we define the algebraic multiplicity of the eigenvalue lambda I to be the number my. Okay, so the power corresponds to the factor x minus lambda I. That is what we call the algebraic multiplicity, and we denoted by am of lambda I. So we will see many examples on these concepts. So geometric multiplicity. So let lambda be an eigenvalue of A. We define V lambda. This is eigenspace corresponds to the eigenvalue lambda. So basically it contains all the eigenvectors corresponds to the eigenvalue lambda. So set of all V belongs to Cn such that AV equal to lambda V. Okay. Then this one can prove that this is a vector subspace of C power n. So the dimension of V lambda is what is defined to be geometric multiplicity of lambda. So we denoted by Gm of lambda. Okay. Now we have we will define a simple formula to calculate the geometric multiplicity of an eigenvalue. Okay. Now a vector V belongs to V lambda if and only if AV should be equal to lambda V. Okay, that is the definition of V lambda. Then if AV equal to lambda V means that A minus lambda I, this is identity matrix, A minus lambda I of V will be equal to 0. Okay, this means that this vector V belongs to the null space of A minus lambda I. Null space means that kernel. Okay. So by definition, null space is set of all vectors that is killed by this this matrix A minus lambda I, or simply it is kernel. Okay. Therefore, V belongs to the eigenspace V lambda if and only if V belongs to kernel of A minus lambda I. That is our first observation. Therefore, geometric multiplicity of lambda is equal to dimension of V lambda equal to dimension of null space of A minus lambda I. But what is the name for dimension of null space of A minus lambda I? That is called nullity of A minus lambda I. Okay. So nullity of A minus lambda I by rank nullity theorem, nullity of A minus lambda I equal to n minus rank of A minus lambda I. What is rank nullity theorem? So you take a n by n matrix, then n equal to nullity of the matrix nullity of the matrix A plus range of the matrix A. Okay. So you all of you might know what is rank nullity theorem. Okay. So the if it is a n by n matrix, n equal to nullity of A plus rank of A. Nullity of A is the dimension of the kernel. Rank of A is the dimension of the range space. Okay. So this is dimension of nullity of A minus lambda I means dimension of null space. So, dimension of null space, but dimension of null space is equal to n minus rank of A minus lambda I. Okay, from this result we get this. So to calculate the geometric multiplicity of an eigenvalue lambda, basically you have to calculate the rank of a matrix. Calculating the rank of a matrix is easy sometimes, because rank is the highest order non-vanishing minor, or sometimes you can reduce to the echelon form to see the rank. There are many methods to calculate the rank of a matrix. Okay, so in what follows we going to relate arithmetic multiplicity, geometric multiplicity, and the size of the Jordan blocks, all these things, right? So first we see how to calculate the geometric multiplicity of eigenvalue using this formula. Okay, maybe we will start here. So consider the following three Jordan matrices. Okay, so if it is a Jordan matrices means it is a matrix and its diagonals are Jordan blocks. Okay, you, so for example here this is a Jordan block, this is a Jordan block, this is a Jordan block. Okay, here this is a Jordan block, this is a Jordan block. Here full thing is a Jordan block. Okay, so here you have three Jordan blocks, here you have two Jordan blocks, here you have one Jordan block. Okay, so here the full matrix you cannot take it as a one Jordan block, because the full matrix is a Jordan block if you should get a one here. Okay, so let me briefly showing you again the structure of Jordan block. So Jordan block means the diagonal all should be same eigenvalue, and above all the entry should be 1. The diagonal next to the main diagonal everything should be 1. Okay, this is the Jordan block. Anything of this form is a Jordan block. Okay, so for example if it is a 1 by 1 matrix, then you will have 0 number of 1. If it is a 4 by 4 matrix, you have 3 ones. So if it is a 1 by 1 block, you won't have any 1. Okay, so that is a one minor observation. So that is why these are all 1 by 1 blocks, 1 by 1 Jordan blocks. This is, there is no 1 here. If there is a 1, then it is a 2 block, it is a 3 block. If there is a, then because there are 2 ones, so it is a 3 block. Since there is no 1 here, you have to split it like this to form the Jordan blocks. So you have a 1 here, there is only 1, so this is a 2 block. Here there is no 1, so it is a, there are 0 number of ones, so this is a 1 block. Okay. Okay, we look at these three Jordan matrices and we calculate its algebraic multiplicity and geometric multiplicity, and we connect it with blocks. Okay, let's see. So this, all these matrices are upper triangular matrices. Okay, therefore its diagonal entries are the eigenvalues. Therefore the so this is my J1, this is J2, this is J3. So the characteristic polynomial of J1, J2, J3, all of them is x minus 5 the whole cube. Okay. Okay. Now therefore the algebraic multiplicity for the eigenvalue 5 is 3. Okay, 5 is the only eigenvalue and it has multiplicity 3. Algebraic multiplicity 3. Okay. Next we calculate the geometric multiplicity. Okay. So now I want to calculate the geometric multiplicity of J1. So we proved that geometric multiplicity of a matrix, let me just show you the formula again. If it is a n by n matrix, then geometric multiplicity of lambda equal to n minus rank of A minus lambda I. Okay, but now we are doing the 3 by 3 matrix. Therefore geometric multiplicity of J1, geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalue 5 in the matrix J1 is equal to 3 minus rank of J1 minus 5i. Okay, but J1 itself is the matrix 5i. Okay, 5 times identity matrix will give you this matrix. So you get this matrix is a 0 matrix. So rank of 0 matrix is 0. Therefore geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalue 5 in the matrix J1 is 3. Okay, so we get this is 3. Okay, so next look at the geometric multiplicity of 5 in the matrix J2. This is 3 minus rank of J2 minus 5i. So from this matrix, if you subtract 5i, all the diagonal entries will be 0. You will get only this non-zero entry. Okay. So you want 0, you will get 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So this clearly this has rank 1. So 3 minus 1, 2. Okay. Okay, good. So similarly, if you calculate the GM, geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalue 5 in the matrix J3, you will get 3 minus rank of J3 minus 5i. But J3 minus 5i will be this matrix. This matrix has rank 2 because these two rows are linearly independent. Therefore, 3 minus 2, 1. Okay. So we get 3, 3. The geometric multiplicity, you see it is 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, and we want to know what is the basis of the eigenspace. So that this geometric multiplicity is nothing but dimension of the eigenspace corresponds to the eigenvalue 5. Okay, so you can find a basis consist of this many number. So now if you see like okay, we'll calculate the basis. Uh, Okay, so V lambda is equal to set of all V belongs to C cube such that AV equal to lambda V. That is a definition. So equivalently, set of all V belongs to C cube such that A minus lambda I of V equal to 0. Okay, so V lambda is nothing but kernel of A minus lambda I. Okay, so if you want basis for V lambda, you can equivalently calculate the basis for kernel of A minus lambda I. So to calculate a basis for V5, we can calculate the basis for kernel of J1 minus 5i. Here kernel of J2 minus 5i, kernel of J3 minus 5i. Okay, but J1 minus 5i is a zero matrix. Therefore, its kernel will be full. If it is a zero matrix, then everything goes to zero. Therefore, what will be the kernel? Kernel will be full C cube. Okay. If it is a full C cube, then we can just take the standard basis. Okay. Next, we calculate the kernel of J2 minus 5i. Okay. So we have so this is J2 minus 5i. Okay. So if you look at J2 minus 5i, so in a matrix, what is the first column? This is image of E1. The first column is the image of E1. Third column, second column is the image of E2. Third column is the image of E3. Okay. This is how we calculate the matrix. So clearly you see image of E1 is 0, image of E3 is 0. Therefore, E1 and E3, these two vectors are in the kernel. Okay. And these two vectors are linearly independent. Okay. So they're like this is a rank 1 matrix because there is only one non-zero row. Therefore, its kernel has to be dimension 2 and E1 and E3 are belongs to the kernel. Therefore, they should form the basis. Similarly, you can calculate the basis for the kernel of J3 minus 5i for this matrix also. If you notice only E1, T of E1, this is 0. Therefore, like basis of V5 for the matrix J2 will be E1 and E3 because here E1 and E3 are getting killed and in the for J3 only E1 is getting killed. Therefore, the basis for the eigenspace V5 will be just singleton E1. Okay. Yeah, but we don't, I mean, as such, we will not use this basis. If you understand how to calculate these numbers 3 to 1, we are very much fine. Okay. 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 So now we understood how these blocks behaves with respect to algebraic multiplicity and geometric multiplicity. So we going to use this result. Okay. In particular, we are interested in this matrix because this is a Jordan block. Okay. Why this is a Jordan block? Because all these things are one. Okay. So if it is a 3 by 3 Jordan block, then it's you see for J3 the this is the characteristic polynomial, and algebraic multiplicity is 3, but for this block geometric multiplicity of 5 is 1. Okay, so that is what we going to use it. Okay, let's see. uh, okay, so let j equal to j lambda comma k. This is just a notation. So j lambda comma k means that it is a k by k Jordan block corresponds to the eigenvalue lambda. Okay, or size k Jordan block corresponds to the eigenvalue lambda. So if we, it will be of the form all the diagonal entries are lambda, everything above the diagonal next to the main diagonal, everything will be 1. Okay, then the characteristic polynomial of this matrix j or this block, okay, say this is j, so we call this j. Characteristic polynomial of j is clearly x minus lambda whole power k. Why? Because it is upper triangular matrix, therefore diagonal entries are the eigenvalues, so it is x minus lambda whole power k, and therefore algebraic multiplicity of lambda is k. And let's calculate the geometric multiplicity of lambda. Geometric multiplicity of lambda is by our formula k minus rank of j minus lambda I. So when you subtract lambda I, all this lambda will go, we will get 0. Okay, therefore the diagonals become 0, but this ones which are in the diagonal next to the main diagonal, they are all, they are remains 1 only. Okay, so what is the rank of this matrix? Clearly only the last row is 0, in all the other rows are linearly independent, because this is e1, sorry, this is like you can see this is like e2 vector, this is e3, the standard basis e3 vector, this is e4, then this is ek. Okay, ones are in the different places, therefore this first k minus 1 rows are linearly independent, therefore rank is k minus 1, therefore k minus 1 is 1. Okay, therefore geometric multiplicity of a geometric multiplicity, so if it is a Jordan block, it will have only one eigenvalue. Okay, that is lambda, and its geometric multiplicity will be always 1. That is the only thing you have to remember. Okay, if it is a Jordan block, then it will have only one eigenvalue lambda, its geometric multiplicity will be 1. Okay, so this is the proof, and we have seen it here also. For this Jordan block, we got the geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalue 5 is 1. Okay, okay, now we know, we have learned something new about the Jordan blocks. We use this result. Okay, and the basis of v lambda, the eigenspace will be e1, that is again similar to so here we got e1, right? The same argument will work. Try to do it by yourself, not a big, it is very simple. So we can quickly say the geometric multiplicity and the algebraic multiplicity in a Jordan block of size k. Okay, so once you see this matrix, you know that the eigenvalue is lambda and its algebraic multiplicity is k and the geometric multiplicity is 1. Okay, so we can quickly say that. We want to extend this result to Jordan matrices. Okay, what is Jordan matrices? Jordan matrices means it is a matrix whose diagonal entries are blocks. So it is a matrix with diagonals are blocks, and each block is a Jordan block. Okay, okay, so this is one Jordan block, and a block matrix in which only non-zero, like so it is a matrix with the diagonal entries are block matrices, each block is a Jordan block. Such a matrices are called Jordan matrices. So we know the algebraic multiplicity and geometric multiplicity of Jordan blocks. Now we want to understand the algebraic multiplicity and the geometric multiplicity of Jordan matrices. Okay, so basically you know something about the blocks. How do you say the same thing about the full matrix? That is the question. Okay, so here we have a nice formula called sum formula. Okay, basically suppose you have two n by n matrices. Now you form a diagonal matrix with diagonals are these blocks. Okay, so this is n by n, this is n by n. So this is n by n, this is n by n. Here you put a n by n zero matrix. Here n by n zero matrix. So basically you get a 2n by 2n matrix. Okay. So this sigma of B means that spectrum of B or eigenvalues of B. Okay. So let the eigenvalues of B be lambda 1, lambda 2, etc. lambda n, and eigenvalues of C be mu 1, mu 2, etc. mu n. Then the eigenvalues of A are nothing but, so eigenvalues of A union eigenvalues B, but this is as a multi-set. Multi-set means that suppose here the eigenvalue 1 occurs 5 times, here 1 occurs some 7 times, then here 1 occurs 12 times. Okay, so we have to take everything with the multiplicity. Usually in the set we don't write a number twice. Okay, but here you have to make sure that each is repeated that many times. That is a difference. Moreover, so now you know eigenvalues here. So algebraic multiplicity of an eigenvalue lambda in A is equal to algebraic multiplicity of the eigenvalue lambda in B plus algebraic multiplicity of the eigenvalue lambda in the matrix C. Okay. And similarly, geometric multiplicity of an eigenvalue lambda in A is equal to geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalue lambda in B plus geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalue lambda in the matrix C. Okay. So before see the proof, let's quickly see one example to illustrate this result. Okay. So we take V to be a vector in C power n and U to be a vector in C power m. Okay, then we define the vector V direct sum U. It is equal to V1 etc. Vn U1 etc. Um. Sorry for the mistakes. Um. This is um. So basically now there are n plus m coordinates. So this belongs to C power n plus 1. This means a direct sum. So this is for two vectors. Now you take arbitrary vectors. Ui belongs to C power ni. Then you define u1 direct sum, u2 direct sum, etc. uk to be a vector. I mean, you have to just in the first n1 places you put the coordinates of u1. Next n2 places you put u2. Next n3 number of places you put the coordinates of u3 and so on. So like I'm just generalizing this for k vectors. Okay, so first you put the u1, second you put u2, and you keep doing it. Okay, so this is just a notation that we're going to use. Let's see. So I take this matrix A to be 0 1 1 0, then its eigenvalues are 1 and minus 1. Corresponding eigenvectors are the column vector 1 1. Okay, I have written in the row form, so I put the transpose. Okay, but the eigenvector is 1 comma 1. Similarly, for the eigenvalue minus 1, the eigenvector is 1 comma minus 1, that we can just directly calculate. Similarly, for this is identity matrix, eigenvalues is 1 and 1. The eigenvector is these two vectors, column vectors 1 0, column vectors 0 1. Similarly, for C, I take this minus identity matrix. So the eigenvalues are minus 1 minus 1. Again, you can take the eigenvectors to be E1 and E2, column vectors E1 and E2. Okay. Now I form the matrix A direct sum, B direct sum, C. What is it means? It means that it means that I put these matrices in the diagonals as diagonal blocks, and everywhere else we put the zero blocks. Okay. So this is the meaning of this direct sum. Now, like what we were doing, we know something about Jordan blocks and we want to learn about Jordan matrices. For that reason, we want to understand how knowing the eigenvalues and eigenvectors related to the eigenvalues and eigenvectors of the block matrix. That's what we're going to see. So now we observe that the eigenvalues of m are 1 minus 1. So this 1 minus 1 is nothing but the eigenvalues of this block. Then 1 comma 1. This is eigenvalue of this block. Then minus 1 comma minus 1. This is eigenvalue of this block. Okay. Why this is the eigenvalue of this matrix M? Because 1 is eigenvalue because you can construct now you see one corresponds to this block, this one corresponds to this block, this is the first block. Okay, so with and in for this first block the eigenvector is 1 comma 1. Okay, for this block eigenvalue is 1, eigenvector is 1 comma 1. So with this vector I have denoted by v1. Okay, so we take v1 direction 0, direction 0. Okay, that means, so I have written it vertically, so that means that first two places you put v1, next two places 0 0, because this is a 2 by 2 block. For that places okay, maybe I hope you understand this direct sum notation clearly. So direct sum means you just grouping the coordinates together. Okay, so this is v1, this is 2 by, this is a this is a 0 0, this vector, this 0, again this is 0 0, this vector. Okay, why I am taking 2 by 2 0 vector, because there is a two block, there are two blocks. I am looking at eigenvectors corresponds to this first block, so remaining two places I am getting 0 0, so I'll get this vector. Now you calculate that m times, if you act this matrix m on this vector, so for example like you put here 1 1 0 0 0 0, this vector, you will actually get the vector 1 times 1 1 0 0 0 0. Okay, so what we are doing is we are taking eigenvector of this block and extending it to a eigenvector of the full block matrix. Okay, since this is the first block, we are putting this vector in the first two entries, remaining two entries corresponds to these two blocks. Okay, and we are keeping it as 0. In the next step, suppose you take this one, this one is the eigenvector of eigenvalue of the second block. For this one, the for eigenvector is 1 comma 0, column vector 1 comma 0. But now you see I have put 1 0 in the second two places. Okay, because this eigenvector corresponds to the eigenvalue of second block. Again this is 0 comma 1, this corresponds to this eigenvalue, this eigenvalue is eigenvalue of this block. Therefore if it is a second block, we keep these two entries 0, these two entries 0, and we put only the eigenvectors in this second place. Similarly we are putting the eigenvectors in the third two places, first second two places and first two places we are putting it 0. Okay, so what happens is individually you know the eigenvalues and the eigenvectors of these blocks, then by extending the eigenvectors in a suitable way, you will get the eigenvectors of the full block matrix also, and the eigenvalues remains the same. You just need to take the eigenvalues with multiplicity as it is. Okay, I hope you understand how to get the eigenvalues and eigenvectors of a block matrix if you know the eigenvalues and the eigenvectors of the diagonal blocks. Okay, so this is the idea. We're going to use this idea to calculate some more things. So here we are doing the same thing. Okay, so you take a two n by n matrices and I form a diagonal matrix with diagonal entries are a block matrices with the diagonals are these blocks B and C. Then the eigenvalues of A, nothing but eigenvalues of B and eigenvalues of C, and as a multiset. Moreover, this algebraic multiplicity and geometric multiplicity has this nice form. Okay, yeah, again this like maybe I will just again go back to that example once again. So one, the algebraic multiplicity of geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalue 1 for the matrix M is equal to, see, one for one once appear here and twice appear here. Okay, so that is basically geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalue 1 in M is equal to geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalue 1 in A plus geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalue 1 in B. Okay, here 1 doesn't appear, so we don't have that. Okay, so that is why we have this two equalities. Okay, so this is some very nice formula regarding block matrices, and this block can be extended for k blocks also. You take any k block matrices with a k diagonal blocks, still this result hold. Since we are summing the values corresponds to the block, this is called a sum formula. Okay, so let's continue. So I mean the proof everything I explained using an example. So for example, so this is a Jordan matrix because this is a Jordan block, this is a Jordan block, this is a 2 by 2 Jordan block because there is only one. This is 1 by 1 Jordan block because there is no one. Now algebraic multiplicity of the eigenvalue 5 is equal to algebraic multiplicity of the eigenvalue 5 in this matrix equal to algebraic multiplicity of 5 in this block plus algebraic multiplicity of 5 in this block by the previous result. So here it is 2, here it is 1, we get 3. Similarly, geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalue 5 in this block is equal to geometric multiplicity of 5 in this block plus geometric multiplicity of 5 in this block, but this is a Jordan block, this is a Jordan block. In any Jordan block, geometric multiplicity will be 1. Therefore, geometric multiplicity of this is 1, this is 1, so we get 2. Okay, so more generally, if we have a Jordan matrix, so if it is a Jordan matrix, if J equal to diagonal matrix with diagonal blocks are Jordan blocks, J1, J2, etc., Jk, where Ji is the Jordan block corresponds to the eigenvalue lambda I of size ki. Okay, we are not claiming that the lambda i's corresponds to different ji's are distinct. Okay, for example, lambda 2 and lambda 5 could be equal. That is one thing to observe. Given this, we have uh, geometric multiplicity of an eigenvalue lambda I in J is equal to number of Jordan blocks of J corresponds to the eigenvalue lambda I. Okay. For example, like suppose if, as I said earlier, if suppose if lambda 1 and lambda 5 are equal, then the geometric multiplicity of lambda 1 will be equal to 2 because there are two Jordan blocks corresponds to the eigenvalue lambda 1. For example, J1 itself, then J5 is also Jordan block corresponds to the eigenvalue lambda 1 because lambda 1 and lambda 5 are equal. Okay. Then again, arithmetic multiplicity of lambda and eigenvalue lambda I in J is equal to sum of the sizes of the blocks corresponding to lambda I. Okay, so you one should remember this clearly. Geometric multiplicity of eigenvalue lambda in a Jordan matrix is equal to number of Jordan blocks corresponds to the eigenvalue. Similarly, algebraic multiplicity of an eigenvalue in a Jordan matrix equal to sum of the sizes of the blocks corresponds to lambda. Geometric multiplicity is number of blocks, algebraic multiplicity is sum of the sizes of the blocks. That is the way to understand it. Now, uh, maybe we'll see some problems related to this concept. Okay. Next, we see some problems using this observation. Uh, so this is a CSR problem from previous year question. You consider the matrix A equal to 2, 2, 1, 0, 2, minus 1, 0, 0, 3, and we are given another matrix. And the options are A and B are similar over field of rational numbers. A is diagonalizable over the field of rational numbers. B is the Jordan canonical form of A. Minimal polynomial of A and the characteristic polynomial of A are equal. So let's do first options 2 and 3 first. Now it is a upper triangular matrix, therefore its eigenvalues are 2, 2, 3, and they are all rational numbers. So we can talk about Jordan canonical form of this matrix over rational numbers because all its eigenvalues are rational numbers. Okay. Now we calculate the algebraic multiplicity and geometric multiplicity of each of the eigenvalues of A. So this is the characteristic polynomial. Therefore, algebraic multiplicity of 2 is 2. Now we calculate the geometric multiplicity of 2. So we found a formula. Geometric multiplicity of 2 is, it is a 3 by 3 matrix. So 3 minus rank of A minus 2i. So this is equal to 3 minus rank of this matrix. So basically I have to subtract 2 from the diagonal entries of this matrix. You get 0, 2, 1, 0, 0, minus 1, 0, 0, 1. So these two rows are linearly dependent because if you multiply this row by minus 1, you will get this row. Okay. So, and these two rows are linearly independent. Therefore, rank of this matrix is 2. Therefore, geometric multiplicity of the eigenvalue 2 in this for this matrix is 1. Okay, so we just saw that geometric multiplicity is equal to number of Jordan blocks of that eigenvalue. Therefore, we conclude that number of, so in the Jordan canonical form of this matrix, the number of Jordan block corresponds to the eigenvalue 2 is equal to 1. There will be only one block corresponds to the eigenvalue 2. Therefore, if you look at the Jordan canonical form of this matrix, so the diagonal entries should be 2, 2, 3, that is clear, and it should be upper triangular. So these three entries are 0, and clearly these entries are also 0. The only question is whether uh, this entry is 0 or 1. Okay, suppose if this entry is 0, then this will be a block and this will be a separate block if you have 0 here. Okay, that will mean that there are two blocks corresponds to the eigenvalue 2, but we know that since 2 has geometric multiplicity 1, there should be only one block. That means that these two twos should be together, means that this should be a 1. Okay, therefore this is a 2 block, and 3 is like a simple eigenvalue. It has multiplicity 1 only, so that has to stay as a single one block only. So basically this is the Jordan block of this matrix. Okay, Jordan canonical form of this matrix. So therefore, like option 3 is true. B is the Jordan canonical form of A. Now this I mean, there are many ways to see this. I'll tell you one way of doing this. So algebraic multiplicity of 2 and geometric multiplicity of 2, they are not matching for the eigenvalue 2. Okay, matrix is diagonalizable over a particular field if its algebraic multiplicity and geometric multiplicity should to match for every eigenvalue. But for the eigenvalue 2, they are not matching. Therefore, A is diagonalizable over the field of rational numbers statement is wrong. Okay, so this is wrong. Now, we showed that this is the Jordan canonical form of this matrix. That means that there is an invertible matrix P such that P A P inverse will equal to this matrix. That means that these two matrices are similar matrices. Okay. Now, for the last option, this is the characteristic polynomial. So, then what are the possible minimal polynomials? So, in the minimal polynomial, all these factors should appear. Okay. Therefore, these are the only two possibilities. Okay, that means that uh, either this is the minimal polynomial or this is the minimal polynomial. If this is the minimal polynomial, this is the product of distinct linear factors, right? Therefore, if a minimal polynomial splits into distinct linear factors, that means that matrix is diagonalizable. But we just saw that the matrix is not diagonalizable. Okay, therefore this cannot be the minimal polynomial. This should be the minimal polynomial, but this is already the characteristic polynomial also. Therefore, last option is also true. Okay. Okay, guys. If you learned something new from this video, please click the like button and share with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.